So today we'll talk about mini courses, lecture when the teacher explains his topic. Um, i- it's 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 not bad in itself. I mean, a course given by the teacher is very good training for the ability to follow the example of an articulated, constructed discourse with linked arguments and with an intelligent common thread. That's very useful for learning. An example, the TED Talks. I like to watch these shows. It's very well prepared for its last 10 to 18 minutes where you have a speaker on stage being very captivating um, with 50 to 5,000 with a quite large audience. And it's very educational to me to listen for two reasons. First, for the content. I like the content. I select the content myself, and I pressed the play button. So I was asking to get this lecture. And second, on the way the content is delivered. So because the way these people argue on stage is very instructive, and it's a critical skill for later. For example, when you are in a meeting with co-workers and you have to convince, or just when you are on the playground and you have to convince your buddies. So it's a crucial skill. So lectures are important in school. But in most traditional schools, there are just too many and they are too long. I mean, in so many courses, the teacher starts lecturing um, as soon as the people enters the classroom and stops only 1 hour later when the course is done, is finished. And so it's probably the only activity of that hour, and that for 10 hours every day you sit and you have to listen and you feel sleep. And yeah, it's boring. Yeah, to tell the truth, it's boring. You're right, the students. It's boring because the teacher is active, he speaks like me now. Making this video is not boring. It's not as boring as for you to listen to it. Because as I speak, I'm active and it's very engaging to me. But how is it for you? How is it for you? If you are already uh, since this morning only doing listening to teachers, listening, and I'm the third one you have to listen within 2 hours, is probably boring. On the contrary, if it's the only talk you will listen to this morning, then it's okay. And maybe you might find it interesting. So the problem is not the lecture, it's the quantity of it during the day. And you know that a pillar of the class transformation that you are doing is that the teacher almost stops lecturing. So he stops giving, so you have to take, as I did, press play on the TEDx talk videos I was talking about. So the lectures becomes tiny. And the teacher will limit himself with a wall timer. It looks like this. And for example, he will tell, I will only lecture for 10 minutes. So he sets the timer to 10 minutes and the clock ticks. He starts talking for 10 minutes. And because it's only 10 minutes, you are ready to make an effort. Maybe before that you had 14 minutes drill, 2 drills of 5 minutes plus the 2 minutes of correcting. Then the teacher announces that you will have his lecture on whatever, depending on the topic for that teacher, like the science, mathematics, and so on. And then maybe 30 minutes of autonomous work. So you know upfront, okay, I'm getting ready that when I arrive in the classroom, in 14 minutes, I will have a 10-minute lecture and I will try to pay attention. So when only 5 minutes, the teacher starts lecturing, and then 5 minutes later, only 5 minutes remain. And me as a student, it's not that I get a little bored already, so I have to pay attention. It's an effort, and I tell to myself, okay, it's only 5 minutes left, so I can do the extra mile. I can go the extra mile, because I trust the teacher. Because last time he promised also 10 minutes, and he kept his word. So no, I know it's only 5 minutes, and later when the timer beeps, it's over, and the teacher will stop. What happens if you don't stop? What, you were in the middle of something and you'd like to finish, it takes 5 more minutes. Yeah, but next time your students will not trust you. That's the problem. So you really have to finish your sentence and stop, even if you say, okay, we are not finished, tomorrow or next time, because it's important, I will finish that. So it's named time boxing. And if it was so captivating that the students beg for more, then you will have more next time. If you are kind with me, if you deserve it. So the second advantage, so we had two advantages. The first one was focus of your students. If they know up front it's 10 minutes, they will listen to you more carefully, because they trust you it's going to be only 10 minutes. Second, you go to the point. I mean, in 10 minutes you have no time for detours. So you will go straight to what is very important, and maybe as the students discover things aside in their autonomous work during this 30 minutes, maybe they will ask each other some help and elaborate some more on your lesson or on something else, because you know every student is not at the same chapter anymore with this method. So maybe one thing to remember: speak less and trigger the desire of students for more of your mini lectures. Thank you.